Hey guys, what's up? So, Splice Night here, and today our topic is nostalgia. So, something about nostalgia that's always kind of got my attention is essentially you're looking back at old things that you used to really love. For me, this is a lot of old, Saturday morning cartoons kind of deal. I've always really been into, if you know me, Kim Possible and Lilo and Stitch, Fillmore, which is actually a little more lesser known, still a fantastic animation. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the whole idea of nostalgia goggles and how that kind of shades your perception. When you were younger, you generally thought something was fantastic. Now looking back at it, you've got a different opinion. Now, why this generally happens is we get this idea of an idealized past. I mean, this happens with a lot of different things. Whether it's someone that you were close with in the past and you had these positive emotions, they meet you again and you realize that they're completely different from how you remember them. Or whether or not you go back to an old cartoon or an old sport or something like that that you had loved at one point or you thought you remembered how to do back in the day, and suddenly it's different. So basically the reason that happens is we get an idealized past, as I said before, and it kind of shades how we interact with it, and we're expecting something that isn't quite realistic. And great example of something that actually holds up to nostalgia, and in a sense I guess kind of reinforces the idea that everything back in the day was great, cartoon like Kim Possible. Now, they've had their weaker points, which is fair, but they've actually done this thing where you can go back and be like, hey, so this was actually intelligent enough for me to watch as an adult as well as a kid. Which, I mean, a lot of cartoons these days, as I kind of go into the cartoon realm as my example, they don't quite hold up. Even just as an adult, looking at them now, you realize, wow, that's definitely, specifically for their audience, and even their audience isn't always as much of a fan, depending on the animation. But you would go back to stuff from, for example, my generation, which is like late 90s, early 2000s, and you realize not everything holds up. So that is nostalgia. It's basically this feeling, and it's something I've been dealing with lately. I've been watching a lot of stuff that's trying to bring back my nostalgia, my fascination with stuff from the back in the day sort of deal. And now that I look at it, I'm realizing some things hold up and some don't. So, and thoughts on this, guys, is don't let nostalgia kind of cloud your judgment. And, as always, feel free to go back to something and kind of reevaluate how things have changed. Whether it's an old cartoon, it's an old sport that you used to know. But don't go in necessarily thinking you know everything and you understand exactly how things are going to go, because things change over time, and that's part of nostalgia, but it's also part of evolution and going forward. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to me ramble for the last 5 minutes or so. Thank you for watching this episode of Reflections. If you liked it, please like it down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and please share it with friends and family who you think need to think about nostalgia. Alright guys, thank you so much for reflecting with me, and yeah.